Hi friends, Andy Vegan. I make a delicious fresh juice today. It's a red and green juice, very powerful, complex flavors, high nutrition, and not so easy to make because I need a lot of ingredients to make it delicious. Now, I have beet here and a kale, some kale leaves. In Germany, they come right in season because kale is a typical winter green. Yeah, they eat it in winter here, but you can eat it every day in the in summer too, because it is the most nutritious vegetable plant we have. Kale, yeah. There's nothing like kale. So many nutrients. So it's really good, and we should have it all over the year, like in the States. So I know that, but they are getting that here in Germany too. And then the other one is beet. That's very powerful. It's always available. It's a strong earth flavor, and beet happens to be the most exciting plant for making new flavors. To me, I've never seen anything like that. It's funny because it's the dense earth flavor, high in sugar, but the sugar seems to be hidden in this deep earth flavor, dense. And if you put fruit to it, sweet and sour fruit, all the sugar comes out, all the flavors come out in different ways. Flavors you would never even connect with beet. Interesting, really, very interesting. I have made some beet recipes with fascinating new flavors, and also some green and red flavored juices like beets and kale. And the secret to do that is adding fruit. And it needs to be a lot of fruit because they have very strong flavors, these veggies, and you can't juice it on its own, neither beet nor kale. But the fruit, together with the fruit, they turn into delicious flavors and very powerful. Yeah, on a fasting day like today, it's a gentle juice fasting day. I do it once a week. It's part of my regular diet. Once a week I do the fasting with juices and lots of drinks, and so it gets delicious when I have a lot of fruit together with these veggies. So today I have my apple, orange, pear juice, 3 classical fruit. They are all over the planet, very well known. Apples more and oranges more than pear, but pear is one of these fruit too. And they happen to be in season in Germany. Here I have about the same amount of apples and pears. Nutrition-wise, they are almost the same, different effects. Nutrition's calories and main nutrients are the same almost. But they have different effects. The apple helps with elimination through the intestines, and pears help with elimination through the kidneys, so the liquids. They are different. These fruit are different. Nutrition-wise similar though, so there is still something different. There must be something else that makes the difference. But from the calories and so, pretty much the same. And the fiber and so, the macronutrients. Interesting, the flavor of the fruit. I would say that the third fruit is the orange. That's the third main fruit, also same amount, 2 cups, a little bit more, 2 or 3 cups. Juice oranges, they are very inexpensive as compared to regular oranges. I always take juice oranges a lot because you can make so many things with juice oranges. Juice them, have a quick drink, the easiest thing, or so, yeah, in smoothies, in soups, in dressings. Oranges are fantastic and they're so delicious, full of calcium. Vitamin C, of course. But the flavor is, of course, important to make these juices here, these powerful green-red juices. The flavors are most important here. They balance the bitter flavors from the veggies. So oranges are a little bit sour, sweet and sour. Apples are balanced sweet and sour, a little bit sour maybe, a little bit sweet. And the pears are a little bit more sweet, a little bit bitter maybe. But so these bitter, sweet, sour flavors, on the sweet sugary side, that's the part of the fruit, and the veggies are the part of the minerals. Minerals, that means oftentimes a little bit bitter. So bitter and sweet and sour, they are balanced here, and the overall ratio, the rule of thumb if you make a veggie juice, is half and half, 1-to-1, fruit and veggies. From there you can start. If I want to have a juice that is a little bit sweeter, fresher, fruitier, I take a little bit more fruit. If I want to have a juice that is a little bit more strong and powerful, I take a little bit more veggies and less fruit. But there you can start. 1-to-1, I would say, is a recommended ratio. And from there, I begin. So this classic juice with oranges, apples, and pears is the backdrop now for my two powerful veggies, the beets and the kale. And on top of that, I begin to create a new flavor on the base of that, powerful base of that. I have 2 green herbs, so more greens here. You have seen maybe I have more fruit than veggies here because I have more greens also, and these are the green herbs. The second healthiest food we have, the healthiest one is dark leafy greens like the kale, and the second healthiest are green herbs. So herbs in general and spices. And here, thyme, it's a very powerful ancient herb from the Mediterranean. And this is basil from the same family, they call the mint family. Basil, also from the Mediterranean. And all these herbs from the mint family, from the Mediterranean, they have been cultivated for thousands of years, and all of them have different benefits. You have even medical use, and even researched on some, there's some research about them. For example, thyme is the herb that is used since ancient times. The Egyptians, the ancient Egyptians, they used it famously, the oil for the skin, to have a good skin, antibacterial, anti-inflammatory properties, anti-insectoids. You can put mosquitoes away with thyme oil, and for the indigestion, for the colon, and also for breath, that you have your problems with breathing or a cold or so. That's what thyme is for. It's very powerful, a very strong flavor. They are small plants. Maybe you know the thyme, what it looks like. It's a little bit what it looks like. They are tiny plants. You can take it dried and fresh. This is a fresh one, but very powerful. When they grow in the Mediterranean, that means there's a hot climate, the sun shines on them, and when the sun shines on them, they need to defend themselves against the sun, and they build these etheric oils that protects them. And when we use these oils, these plants from this, they protect themselves against the sun. We use these plants for medical use. Hippocrates said, the father of modern medicine, he was the one in 400 years or before Christ or so, at that time around, he founded modern medicine because he said, we can't just rely on tradition and do what everybody says, what's good for you. No, we have to make science. We have to test it on ourselves. We have to be scientific. And that's the time when modern science was founded. Modern philosophy founded in the antiquity with the Greeks, the ancient Greeks. Hippocrates was also the one who, Aristotle, the father of modern science, copied his ethics from. So, but that's a different topic. Hippocrates, a medical scientist from that time, one of the first, he was very important for our whole culture. And he also wrote something about thyme. He said it was for the throat, sore throat, and you have a cold, so then you use thyme. That was his suggestion. Cool guy. I gotta study that. So the other herb is basil. Yeah, the basil is much different. It's a lot different. There is the wake-up herb, I always say. In Italy, for example, they give the children the stem of basil. They're very soft stems to chew on when they're tired in class and school. Kids, now, they're going to wake up immediately because something is in the basil that makes the brain wake up. So that's basil, and it has a wonderful flavor for sweets. Basil is wonderful with oranges, for example. Thyme is rather, I would say, with pears and apples. But I don't know, it's a very complex flavors, and I will try now to use it here to create a new flavor with beets and kale. And that is that. And then I have oftentimes in many of my juice recipes, I add lemon and ginger, not so much to add a new flavor, but to enhance the other flavors. 1 lemon and a nice amount of ginger root, 3 to 4 inches. Ginger is the fire for digestion, it gives you more nutrients. And lemon keeps it fresh. It's antioxidant. It gives it really, keeps it from decaying everything. It keeps it fresh. So, and supports the sugar flavor by opposing it. It tickles it out a little bit. It makes the other flavors more, it highlights them a little bit. So lemon and ginger is a nice team. It's a perfect team to make the other flavors a little bit more expressive. So I have 9 ingredients here. The 3 main fruit, the 2 veggies, beet and kale, and then the 2 distinctive flavors here, basil and thyme, and lemon and ginger to enhance everything. Let's see, I will juice it now, and maybe I have a little peel here from the lemon. I don't know, that's very powerful. Sometimes I need it, sometimes not. Lemon peel being, the yellow color being the healthiest part of the lemon, the most powerful part. Again, shelter against sun, you know, they have these etheric oils again, very powerful, these things outside. But sometimes it's too much, especially when you have kale, it can be bitter. You harvest it too early, it has to be harvested usually after the first frost. Then the nutrients are the most. Then kale can even taste sweet. That can be wonderful after the first frost. But when you do it earlier, it can be bitter too. So it grows all over the year. It begins, they plant it in spring, and then it grows all over through the summer. These plants grow big and large, and they're full of nutrients, full of power. And too early harvested, they can be bitter. So in that case, the peel would be too much. So I juice it now, and I come back in a moment and then show you the juice. My juice is done, and I tasted it in between to check out what it's like. With the thyme, that is the strongest flavor, and here's the thyme. Other than kale, I mean, kale is the main flavor here in beet, but the thyme with a small amount only is very powerful. These green herbs are very powerful, and thyme is super powerful. So I cannot take too much, but so I wanted to know what it is like. And it was very nice, a very characteristic flavor, very strong flavor. Has this medical touch that you would expect from medication. It is in there, but still nice with the sweets, you know, from the beets and the fruit all together. But I only tasted it in between to know, and I did not put any lemon peel so far. I thought it was strong enough. So without the peel, let's see now. Now it's ready. And I have 1 liter and a little bit more. I have some here in the container of the juicer. There is some left, so 1.2 liter, I would say. That's usually I have 1 large juice on a fasting day like this, and I drink it slowly, sip by sip, because you know, juicing means removing fiber. This is the fiber, most of it. The juicer takes that away from the ingredients and the plants, and the fiber is that what cannot be digested, and is one of the healthiest part of the food. Without the fiber, we wouldn't have a healthy digestion, and the healthy digestion gives us the most part of our immune system. So that is very important. Most people have not enough of it. That's very important. That's why we have a healthy plant-based whole food diet. Whole food means with the fiber and everything that doesn't need to be thrown away, so to say. So that's not in the juice. The juices are really an exceptional thing on a fasting day where I rest or pause my digestion. Like at night, usually I don't eat late because the digestion should be pausing at night. Then the body can restore its tissues. It can eliminate the toxins. The brain does a great job at night. Huge amount of toxins. The most part of it is released by the brain. Who would have thought, right? But most of the energy also goes to the brain. It's our most important organ, inner organ. So that's very important. and also it's like a rebooting the system. Yeah? Sleeping as well as fasting, like start all over the next day. And it can be very intense. One day of not having fiber, not having less calories, that's the most important part of fasting in medical sense, is taking away calories from our usual diet. Less calories, then the body begins to go to emergency mode and to generate energy in a different way. It's called ketosis. Usually the body burns sugar in the cells. Most of the cells burn sugar. That's what in fruit is. Yeah, that's why fruit are so easy digestible. Don't need to break down. The body doesn't need to break down the fruit because the sugar is already ready to burn as the fuel in the cells. But on a fasting day, the body in an emergency mode with less calories than usual, it burns ketones that are smaller molecules, and by burning these, the body creates energy in a more efficient way. But that's a long story about the ketosis. There are diets that are called ketotic diets, and so in overall, it's not considered to be healthy. You should not do that. In medical science, I guess it's complicated, but I guess finally they acknowledge that. But I don't want to discuss that here. I just say that happens on a fasting day too. You go to the ketosis to cleanse yourself and to be more efficient. The body is more efficient then because it has less food. And that's what I do on a fasting day. Cleansing, restoration of tissues, reorganizing the memories, rebooting the system, all these kind of things. And also it makes me more creative. The senses get a boost because the energy is all going to the system. Usually 10% or so of the energy of the food go to the digestion. That doesn't happen on a fasting day. Ideally, that's always with a rule of thumb. So this juice now, I will drink it slowly, as I said, like a meal on a regular day, with the juice on a fasting day. Other than that, I drink lots of water, plant milks, veggie broth, teas, coffees, whatever I like to drink, but it has to be a lot. I need 4 liters on a fasting day to feel great, because the toxins have to be released. The body needs a lot of liquid and water to release all that, otherwise you can even harm yourself. Even one day of fasting can harm the inner organs, especially the kidneys, for example, to elimination. So drinking enough is so important. And if you're on medication, that's something I should add for advice, medical advice. On medication, you should ask your doctor if you should fast, because if you can fast, because medication, the dosage can be changed when you change your food patterns. Eat less or so, and then all of a sudden you have more of a dosage when you take the same medication, and that can be harmful. So, that's why you should ask a doctor on medication. Otherwise, one day fasting, with drinking enough, and you're feeling healthy is simply cool. That's why I do only 1 day a week, and on every week, basically. It's called gentle juice fasting. So now let's see what the juice tastes like. I'm so curious now. I didn't taste it, only in the middle, but now I added everything. And the texture is nice. It's a creamy juice. It's a runny, creamy juice. The pears usually make it a little bit creamier, but it's okay. I'll just show you now in a moment what it looks like. But most importantly, the flavor. Let's see. Wow. Yeah. It's a very complex flavor. There's nothing too bitter, nothing too sour, not too sweet. It's really characterized by these thyme and basil flavors. Thyme is very strong, not predominant. There is a little bit of thyme there. This is medical property, the medical flavor, this kind of flavor. You know the medical thing. They're all different, but you will know exactly what I'm talking about when you taste it. Thyme, and it's in here, not too much. Basically, it's a red-green juice. A red juice, you put beet in the juice, always red, but the green makes it a little bit darker, a deeper red. Beautiful color. Also predominant is the pear, that makes it sweet. The pear has a special sweetness. Tends to the bitter side a little bit, but very deep sweetness. The pears are very special. They're a little bit there. I can taste it. The very ripe pears here. And otherwise, the sweet and sour from the apples and the oranges and the lemons are balanced, nicely balanced. Ginger, not too much too. So I would say it's it's a wonderful juice, very characteristic, very powerful. And have a look what's like when it flows. You can see a little bit. You see, this is what it looks like. Pretty thick, but not too. It's like a whole meal. If I drink that slowly, sip by sip, I really feel great. These beet juices, they give me power, endurance. That's characteristic for the beet. Shortly after eating or drinking beet juice, you get more endurance for workout. And the kale juice brings oxygen everywhere in the body, and also full of protein they are, and minerals. They are very refreshing and energizing. So very powerful and energizing, refreshing juice with a lot of fascinating characteristic flavors. And I will enjoy that right away. And thanks for watching. I hope you enjoy. If you like my video, subscribe MD Vegan on YouTube. Have another recipe every single day. And find me on Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and X. And there is a page on Facebook called TriYoga Moon Fasting. That is the page where I post all my juices. There are video recipes and the calendar for the best fasting days. It's called TriYoga Moon Fasting, because TriYoga is the non-violent yoga style. The flow comes into yoga from Yogini Kaliji, the founder of TriYoga, 1980. And she is a great vegan activist. She also inspired the first vegan movement. The book that it triggered the first vegan movement in the US in 1987 was Diet for a New America, John Robbins. And in his acknowledgements in his book, and the first text in that book says that Carly Rae was the one who supported him for the original inspiration of this book. And this book then triggered the first vegan movement. So she was behind that too. So, I'm very inspired by her, and the gentleness, the non-violence, the flow, as she calls it, as we call it now, that inspires the TriYoga Moon Fasting page. And well, you can go there too. And I hope to see you soon.